So some have likened this move to get these allies together as well, or create this alliance to stop China's progression up the chip value chain as essentially a declaration of war by other means. I know that's probably over-egging it, but what does it do to the economy's burgeoning tech industry?
Well, these are hard-hitting controls, and the U.S. is leveraging restrictions on U.S. persons' activities, U.S. origin content, plus the threat of additional extraterritorial controls to ensure that these October 7 restrictions have maximum impact. Now, there's still a question of implementation. How far does that actually go in enforcing these controls? But effectively, they freeze in place China's development of leading edge chips. That's foundational to its economy. And there is no escape when it comes to its dependency on foreign suppliers.
Reva, David here. In fact, this time yesterday, thereabouts, it's Monday, it's Friday, when news essentially broke that the Netherlands and Japan were perhaps poised to join this, let's call it an embargo, for example. We were speaking with an associate professor at NYU Shanghai. We'll play the tape. Now, I want to get your reaction to that. Guys, can we play the tape, please? Thank you so much.
Do these rules accelerate the development of the Chinese chip-making industry, right? Is it going to happen faster than it would happen otherwise? And, my sense now is that I think it will happen faster than it would have otherwise, because now we have additional economic incentives that these Chinese semi-firms and tech firms have.
Reva, did the group inadvertently hasten the acceleration of China's development here?
Well, naturally, China is going to double down. It already has a very aggressive tech indigenization policy, but it's an uphill battle. China has been heavily subsidizing the semiconductor industry, has not really seen the results come from that. And so it's recalibrating its strategy now. But it's also in a vastly different environment. If you compare it to other examples that are commonly cited, for example, satellites, 5G, high-speed rail. The argument goes that if you go too far in restrictions, China's just going to indigenize and it'll eventually dominate the market, and the U.S. is just delaying the inevitable. But look at the geopolitical environment today, where we are in a very restrictive trade environment for China. In addition to the export controls, we have outbound investment screening coming from the United States, parallel discussions happening in Europe and other partner countries, and other measures when it comes to data security, subsidy transparency, and punitive measures that are going to undercut China's industry, no matter which way you look at it. So the idea here is the U.S. doesn't think it's going to completely annihilate China's industry. Of course, China is going to be putting in a ton of resources, but it can slow it down severely. And that is really what's behind the design of these controls. Second, I would say, in addition to the geopolitical environment, is China's economic climate, right? China is in a deepening crisis that goes well beyond residual zero COVID effects. The era of state-driven investment growth is over. The population is shrinking while it's also aging. And we've seen how productivity has been in steep decline under China's very heavily statist policies. So the conditions are different, but the details will matter here.